Trump, fine, whatever. But you might be able to wrestle the nomination away from Trump at a brokered convention, but you will not win in November if you do that.
Right.
And so to me, that's not even an option. That shouldn't even be being discussed.
And you're right.
And that's the kind of thing that has everybody all ticked off at Washington to begin with.
Yeah,
you know?
and you're right, David.
So,
and you're right, David. And something that people don't point out is that the Democrats have had the lowest turnout since 2012. They've had the lowest turnouts in all these states, and yet everybody's saying that I think no matter who we put up there, we're going to beat Hillary Clinton. Nobody on that side. She's not exciting her base at all. So if she gets the nomination, which she most likely will, I think that the lower because of the low voter turnout, I think that anybody we put up there is going to be able to beat Hillary. What do you say about that, Dave?
Well, I pray you're right, because again, I have nightmares thinking about President Hillary Clinton,
right.
And I really, aside from statements like it's a third Obama term, which it is, Hillary will finish what Obama has started.
Right.
Okay, and he was right up front about it, but no one thought to ask him what does he mean. You can't talk about fundamentally transforming the country and not have that ring your bell.
Right.
What does this guy mean by that?
Right.
Well, the bottom line is they want to have a permanent Democrat presidency and control of the functions of government, and they'll get it because
that's just it. That's just it. It's like what Phyllis Schlafly said. She said, the Republicans aren't giving their voter base, anybody to vote for, because they're basically, the Democrats and Republicans have become one in reality. So they really don't have anybody to vote for. So I think that's why Trump is resonating, because now they see something different, and they see, call it the shiny object. They see it and they see something different, and that's why I think he's resonating. I want to go to Carmine now. Carmine, the Trump rally yesterday in Alabama, it was basically a repudiation of all the failures, of our government. You had Chris Crane there. You had the Benghazi survivors. You had the displaced Disney workers who were displaced because of H-1B visas, in Marco Rubio's home state. How did you feel about that endorsement? Were you elated? Do you think it's going to make a difference? How do you feel about that?
Well, I think all the right people are endorsing Donald Trump. Sheriff Joe, Jeff Sessions, the Benghazi, heroes. He's bigger than the New York Knicks playoff game. I mean, he's just huge. He has so much support. Mm-hmm. And what the establishment should know and may know, but may not know, is the more they infuriate the Trump voters who are handing him landslide victories, mm-hmm. The more Rubio says, Ted Cruz, you're a New York City liberal. Marco Rubio, you're a Klansman. I mean, they're just insane. They're all over the place with their craziness. But the more they upset the people who support Trump, handing him these wins, the better Trump is going to do. Yeah. They're pouring gasoline on their own fires. They're digging their holes deeper. They're making a tragic error for them. Now, the only other option is they want Hillary. Mm-hmm. They don't want Trump. They want Hillary.
They'd rather lose. Like I said, they'd rather lose.
They'd be winning. But in their minds, they're winning with her.
Right.
They're losing with Trump. Right. They're winning with her. Right. The game goes on with Trump out. Right. And Hillary in.
Right. You're listening to New Media Patriot Radio. I'm your host, Chris, and on the Rebooting Liberty Hotline, I have Emmett, Carmine, and David. Let's talk about the KKK. This article has resurfaced about Donald Trump's dad being arrested, I believe, in 1927 during a KKK rally. And I read the article, the article from 1927. They have it on a post there, and it says, right in that paragraph, it says a couple of names were released on bail, and then when it comes to Donald Trump's supposed dad, Fred Trump, it says he was discharged. So I have friends that are police officers. He says if he was discharged, that means he had nothing to do with it. He basically got caught in the whole scuffle there, whatever, and they just rounded everybody up, and he got arrested. So because he was discharged, that means that there was no evidence that he was part of that rally. Are you fed up? Are you fed up that every election cycle it seems like not only the left but the GOP they push this KKK narrative? For instance, everybody wants Donald Trump to repudiate the support of David Duke. What does he have to do with that? If he supports him, he supports him. But what's the big deal? Especially when you had someone on the Democratic side who passed away, Robert Byrd, who was a KKK member, and he was embraced by the Democrats. So what is the big deal, Carmine?
Well, it's ridiculous. First of all, Trump's father may have been arrested for confronting a Klansman.
Right.
You don't know. There's never any context to anything.
There's never any context.
Donald Trump announced David Duke. When Donald Trump was considering running for president, there was a party in 2000. I forget the name of the party.
The Reform Party.
The Reform Party, yeah.
Yeah, David Duke joined it, and Donald said, "Are you people crazy? This guy's a bigot, a racist. I'm out of here." He denounced him then. When he said, "I don't know about David Duke recently," what he was trying to say is not that I don't know who he is, but I don't know why you're asking about him. Mm-hmm. Because Trump even said, did he endorse me or something?
Right.
He didn't understand what the hell they were talking about. Right. So for him to go to a New York City liberal in bed with Hillary Clinton, who's going to be a Democrat or is only running for Hillary to win, and now he's suddenly a Klansman. It is just so bizarre. Mm-hmm. It's as if, James Carville is running their campaign or the Marxists are running our guy's campaign. Right. It's horrible. So what do I think about it? I think they're reaching for straws to do anything they can to do. 36 years ago, Donald Trump had a shady contractor that hired 200 Polish workers outside of the local labor union. Trump didn't even know about it.
Yeah, this is a thing.
And they're bringing that up.
This is a thing. When I've dealt with third party, contractors and stuff like that. They don't, basically he doesn't know who they're responsible for hiring the crew. He hires them as a third party. He didn't directly hire them. He hired the company. But anyway,
of course,
I'm just fed up with this whole KKK nonsense. It's so stupid. When in actuality, if you think about it, when was the last time the KKK member killed somebody? You know what I mean? Like there's been more deaths tied to Black Lives Matter than the KKK. So please give it a break already. Drop it. I want to move.
I'd like to respond to that.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you about the last time Klans people killed somebody. All you have to do is look no further than the Dixie Mafia and the Clintons. Let me tell you something. More people have dropped dead that have been near and around the Clintons than in any other presidential election or office holding in history. And it's not by coincidence. Right. I will tell you that, and that's a fact.
Right.
These people, you don't commit suicide on the side of a road in a rest area. The things that have happened around let me tell you, they're tied directly to back in the 90s when they ran on their campaign slogan, they ran the Confederate flag. Now all of a sudden they're denouncing it. These people are the worst of the worst. They care about nothing but power.
They are so
And let me tell you, it means being in bed with the Klan. They'll be in bed with the Klan. Yeah. The thing that makes me sick is that we have come to the point in time in politics to where most people are hypnotized or propagandized by the mainstream press into left good, right bad, right good, left bad. Mm-hmm. This is the paradigm that is being shattered under Donald J. Trump. Right. It's not about party. It's about America and doing the right thing, and that's what scares the establishment to death.
Right. What I want to move to David now. Dave, we have, let's talk about Super Tuesday. The key state, Texas, it's pretty much most of the polls coming out have it as a very close race. Now, are you familiar with the way Texas basically issues their delegates depending on how many votes you get. You got to be above a certain threshold. I think it's 20%. If you're below 20%, you don't get distributed any of the. Like they're a little different. Are you familiar with the way they kind of disperse their delegates?
I am. It's an apportioned state. I do think Cruz is going to win that, but Trump will come out of there with some delegates because it's not an all or nothing like Florida or Ohio, which is on the 15th of March. Those are all or nothing states. So when you do have, the delegates are divvied up according to the vote results. I don't think there's any question that Trump's going to do very well tomorrow, very well. And he'll be declared the winner by any rational evaluation process because he's going to win. In fact, I think Texas is the only state he won't win.
Right. Hold on one second. You're listening. Hold on one second. You're listening to New Media Patriot Radio. I'm your host, Chris. And on the Rebooting Liberty hotline, I have Emmett, Carmine, and David. You can call us now. Feel free and call us. I forgot to give you the number again. It's 347-338-1775. That's 347-338-1775. Feel free and give us a call. Go on, David. What were you saying?
Yeah, Trump will do well even in Texas, but I don't believe he'll win Texas.
Okay.
But he is going to come out this time tomorrow night. He's going to be the prohibitive favorite, and it will take something, way outside the lines to deny him the nomination. I think he's going to be so strong after the 50th.
Right, Emmett.
If he beats Rubio in Florida on his home turf, if he beats Kasich in Ohio on his home turf, and wins all the delegates from Florida and Ohio, I personally think it's over. So, he's almost there.
Emmett, how do you feel about how do you feel about Super Tuesday going forward? I mean, all the polls has Trump winning. I believe it's 9 out of the 11 states that are good. I mean, you have about I believe you have about 536 delegates at play here, and all of them are. I think there's 2 caucus states, which I think are up in the South somewhere, Colorado and Minnesota. They're caucus states. The rest are primary states. How do you feel that's going to turn out on tomorrow, Super Tuesday?
Well, it obviously looks good for Trump, no matter, what you say or what polls you believe or don't believe. The polls themselves, at this point, I think are you have to be really careful what you're looking at. Most of them are, fictitious. Let's be honest. Anything at this point that you're seeing, 99% of everything you're seeing from the mainstream media is being, anything from Fox News is being twisted in such a way to make him look bad. But I do believe that it will be a very tight race in Texas. I couldn't sit here and tell you for 1 minute that Cruz or Trump will win that. I think it will be. It won't be decided by 6 coin tosses. I promise you that. But it could be that close.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, let's be honest. But I think he'll win. I think he'll win 8 of them outright. I think most of them will be in a landslide. And let me say something else about Ted Cruz. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think honestly he is caught in a very bad situation. The best thing that I think could happen at the end of tomorrow would be for Rubio and Cruz to hand their delegates to Trump and support him. And if Trump, and the shoe was on the other foot, and Trump did the same thing, that would sway me more than anything else to support whoever was the nominee.
Right.
But I honestly believe tomorrow it will be over with for everyone except the big winner.
Right. Carmine, do you think that if Donald Trump wins in a landslide in most of the states, do you think that the GOP will turn up obviously they're going to turn up the stove on him. They're going to try to get him out no matter what. But do you think if he does get the overwhelming amount of delegates, will you see a white horse entering the race? Sort of like there's rumors that Mitt Romney is going to join. Is going to come in just to draw some delegates away from Donald Trump and kind of get him to the convention without reaching the 51% threshold?
There's nothing they won't do. There's nothing they won't do. So I wouldn't put anything past them. They're not going to let Donald Trump win. You know, we have such craziness going on.